Now it's time that we really focus on not all the shiny tools, not all the cool things we can do with AI, but how can we actually dial it into our business and get results? Well, part of that road trip that we've all been going down, trying to pull AI into our business, is lots of errors, lots of holes, lots of recognizing that AI is not what we thought it was gonna be. I really believe that I could just say, "Hey, I wanna create a blog post," or "I wanna publish just social media," and what I found is AI is very, very good at macro work. It's not very good at the micro work, and so when it comes to learning all this kinda stuff, it's definitely been I've put in my 10,000 hours already, but what I want to be able to do with this talk is really lean into how to shortcut it for you so you don't have to go through all the trial and error I have to get to a result.
Hello, everybody. This is Fernando Labastida in another special edition of the Viral Genius podcast. These are a series of interviews in which we're previewing the talks of all the fantastic speakers we have lined up for the Strike Marketing Summit, which is December 11th through 12th. I am so happy to have Audra Carpenter here. She is the founder of the Content Hub OS. She's been a longtime content marketer and direct marketer, and she is going to speak about from workflows to intelligence, the future of content operation. Put it in the vernacular, basically about AI content operations. This is sort of like the fifth part of the Strike marketing framework. You create the category to differentiate yourself, encapsulate it in a book, use a summit to put a lightning strike out there, continue the conversation through founder-led content, and then you use AI to amplify it and to get your message out there to your target audience. Tell us a little bit about what your talk is going to be about. And I think it's kind of all about what you're building right now, which is that Content Hub OS.
Well, I would even take it back a step. So anybody that is marketing online, we've been given a golden ticket to really be able to amplify our business, especially if you didn't have the labor or the team behind you to build out the content. Now it's time that we really focus on not all the shiny tools, not all the cool things we can do with AI, but how can we actually dial it into our business and get results? Well, part of that road trip that we've all been going down, trying to pull AI into our business, is lots of errors, lots of holes, lots of recognizing that AI is not what we thought it was going to be. I really believe that I could just say, "Hey, I want to create a blog post," or "I want to publish just social media. Here's what I sound like, go." And what I found is AI is very, very good at macro work. It's not very good at the micro work. And so when it comes to learning all this kind of stuff, it's definitely been I've put in my 10,000 hours already, but what I want to be able to do with this talk is really lean into how to shortcut it for you so you don't have to go through all the trial and error I have to get to a result, but then also recognizing the power that is in these automations that we can build today. It's just mind blowing. And I'm really heavy into workflows. Agents aren't here yet, regardless what everybody tells you. They're not autonomous. They're not going to go do everything for you. But we've got some really good, sexy working workflows that you can build into your business that will help you scale faster. And so, during our talk, I really want to be able to lean into this. And I promise I'll try not to geek out too much, but give you
Geek
just
out,
some
geek out.
basics that you can start with and build a roadmap for yourself to pick one topic and go all in and scale it.
Okay, that's fantastic. Fantastic. I was wondering, though, if you could sort of get into that sort of like dichotomy between the
Mm.
macro versus the micro.
Sure, sure. So, one of the big challenges, like I said, was figuring out how to take a process that I've done as a marketing agency since 2009. So, I've been around a long time. I know how this stuff works to get it where I could deploy it with AI tools. Now, I still believe the human has to be in the loop to get anything decent out of there, but I couldn't get it to work. it really went back to all of these tiny micro decisions that we all make consciously or unconsciously now
Yes.
to
Yes.
get a process done and to really think through. I want to write a blog post. Okay, what does that entail? Or I want to create a YouTube video. What does my script really need? I need hooks, I need offers, I need case studies, I need data, I need my audience. I mean, all these things, we do it by habit now. If you've been
Mhm.
doing it for a while,
Yeah.
AI can't fill in those gaps. It will 100% guaranteed it will miss it because remember, it's a big black box with a lot of data. It has no idea about those little nuances of decisions that you make when you're creating content. Also, what that forced me to do was instead of giving AI, steps 1, 3, 12, and 14, I had to go back and say, here's one. And it's not just here's one and 1A and 1B and 1C. Okay, now we can move to 2. And once I actually, as frustrating as it was, got down to that, well, I don't know, why do I do that? Or wait, what normally happens now? And force myself to consciously talk about it. Then it came together, and then the output's usable, and then I got results. But there is a lot of gaps that we have to fill in because AI is not going to do it for you. Not if you want any real good consistent results where this thing can help take over your marketing for you.
You know what? I was actually listening about listening to something like this on a podcast. I can't remember the podcast or who was speaking, etcetera, but they were talking about how all the little tiny micro decisions that we make in doing a process, they're just unconscious to us. We just gloss over it. And then when people tell me,
Yeah.
"Well, how did you do that?" I says, "Well, I just did it. I just did this." But it just that be um but that betrays how subconscious everything is, It's like, we
Mhm.
don't realize, and I guess we can give the example of driving a car, right? When we were first learning how to drive a car when we were 16 years old or whatever, each little thing, and I, learn how to drive a stick shift. We had to do this. We had to go from first to second, second to third, but we had to press the clutch. Then we had to let it go, and then we had to remember to look in the mirror, the rear view mirror and the side mirror, and we had to remember to do the gas with our left foot, and then the brake and the clutch with the right foot, and we had to think about all these things. Now all those things are completely subconscious to us, but there's all these little tiny micro decisions that we do that is just within that 95% of our brain that is subconscious. Okay, so that
And when
clarifies
it
a lot.
comes to AI, right, and when it comes to AI, it doesn't have access to that. It would almost be like your best employee that does all of the work and runs the infrastructure of your company leaves. They never you don't know how they got to those answers. You don't know what their process looked like. You don't know what kind of goals they had that they were doing in what order to get the output that they were getting for you. um, if I go back to the E Myth just for a quick glance, that was such a pivotal book back in the 90s. And if you haven't read it, it's still worthwhile, but because it really maps
I'll grab
out the
one, thanks.
roles and the structure of a company. Right.
Mhm.
Today, that completely changes because of AI. AI can now be that, what I call the automator role in a company. I still believe we have those 3 roles, but I look at it like the architect is kind of the leader. Then you've got operators, which are going to manage this layer of automation within a company. And then you have the automators, which is the tech essentially below it. And we will get to that point where we will have 3 roles in companies. I mean, it's very exciting to see what is starting to take place for those of us that have you gotta get past that surface of chasing shiny objects and go back to the basics. Marketing is still marketing. Today, we just have a different tool that we're able to tap into. Same with sales, same with your customer service. Stick with what your business does well, and then lean into the technology to help your business start to scale because as AI democratizes everything even further than it already has, you better have built those systems so you can focus on people and humans and social IQ and that interconnection because that is the only thing we're going to have left that's original.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is really exciting, and I'm really glad you're addressing this part of it because it's not your talk is definitely not gonna be just another, here's a cool AI tool which I'm gonna show you how to use, or here's a cool trick you can do with Gemini or ChatGPT or whatever. It's about first of all, the fundamentals of marketing, and then, how can you use AI as what did you call it again? The automator and the other two functions?
The architect, the operator, and the automator.
Right. And
So
so
the
how you can use
architect is still the entrepreneur, the leader of the company, the founder, the innovator. I mean, that role is not going to change. But here at the beginning, the architect really does have to be involved because it's still too new. I mean, as fast as AI is moving, um, we still have to be involved in it from a leadership standpoint, from a business owner standpoint. Here's the thing though, ChatGPT's been out for 3 years now. It's really essentially old news. It's a tool and it keeps doing cool stuff and we all sit around in amazement, right? Cuz it's getting better and better. But you gotta stop just we gotta almost focus. What did Gretzky say? You gotta skate to where
to
the
where the
puck is
puck is
going.
going, yeah, mhm.
Yeah, not where the puck is. We have to already be looking ahead and not spending so much time here. Use the tool for what you can get, build those systems, that infrastructure, but you really gotta focus on, "Okay, where is this going, and how am I gonna stand out as the business leader with my product or service when somebody else can pop one up in 2 hours because AI has completely removed all the barriers."
Okay, so I think, you know, for those of you contemplating whether you wanna come and attend the Strike Marketing Summit, I think Audra's talk alone will be worth the price of admission, which is your time, right? We're not charging for this, but your time, which is very
Right.
valuable, and we're inundated by opportunities to spend our time learning from third parties. Audra's talk is gonna be worth its weight in gold in terms of the hour that's gonna be dedicated to her, so thank you so much. So your talk is gonna be, I gotta, go back to the website again. It is going to be on oh my goodness, what is it? Okay. It's gonna be the 12th of December, Friday, the 12th of December from 1 to 2 p.m. Central Time, 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Go to summit.strikemarketingsummit.com and register and make sure to attend Audra's event, her talk. Where can people find you, Audra?
Pretty much anywhere online, just Audra Carpenter. I've been around a long time, so I was able to get all my URLs. I've got a website, I've got a Substack, you name it, yeah, just
There
reach
you go.
out.
All right, perfect. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you the next episode of the special speaker preview series. Bye bye.
Bye.